to Nerdmageddon.
Hello.
Oh, that was good, guys. We're getting better.
I know we say that every single week.
They
And
never
it's true every week.
And then by
Yeah.
the end of the summer, we are going to have gotten it perfectly down.
We're
Mhm.
gonna be
And
one
it's-
voice when we finally get back to actually recording in the studio and everything.
I was gonna say,
Yep.
we're either gonna get it down perfectly or it's gonna go downhill from here.
Mhm.
Like the rest of my
Tea.
life.
Oh,
Same here, girl. Same here.
So I am your friendly neighborhood feline, Miss Kitten, Corey Hertzog.
I
Mhm.
am. Oh, go ahead, Simon.
Don't talk when I'm talking. I'm Simon Clark. I'm the best boy in the group. When I say best boy, I mean the second hand, as in stage terms.
Okay.
Okay.
You're a video guy, Corbett. You should know this.
I am the usual producer of the show, Corbett Evans.
I
Everyone
am
is ready.
your uncreative, can't come up with a caption, Banditi Badger Kenzie.
There it is.
I'm Molly. I'm a chaotic disaster.
That's also a mood.
That's the tea.
That's
I
how
have no
everybody's
emotions
feeling.
right now. It's
Oh, I love my
fine.
sweet tea in my car.
You help balance out Corey's puns.
All right, so we are back at it with some nerd news. First, let's talk about Snowpiercer. Simon, you were really wanting to talk about that.
Yeah. So Snowpiercer, the first episode aired back on Monday. I know that this episode isn't going to go up until next week. So this was Monday the 18th, I want to say, of May. And
18th. You're correct.
Yep, it was received so well. Bong Joon-ho, who made Parasite, was the one who made the film Snowpiercer.
Mm-hmm.
And after his success with Parasite, they decided, hey, let's turn Snowpiercer into a show. And it was received extremely well. And what else? Daveed Diggs is in it. He's the main
Yes.
character.
Daveed Diggs. Have you seen the original movie, Simon?
No, I haven't.
No? Okay, I was going to ask if you had, how would you compare the two?
Yeah, from what I've seen, a lot of people are noticing that it's more focused on the book, because the book was what came out first.
Okay.
So they're looking closer at the book for the series just because there's more in there than there was in the movie, but there's still going to be tiebacks to the movie.
That's
feel like-
awesome.
Yeah.
I feel like that's usually a thing when there's a TV series or a movie that comes out second after something else has already been an adaptation, is
Mhm.
they focus more in on the book and what the book did, because usually it's a movie and then a TV series, and the TV series needs more content. So
Lightning thief.
not even just Lightning Thief, but with Shadowhunters,
Mm-hmm.
I
Seen that
watched the
floating
movie.
around. Yeah.
I have watched the TV series, and the TV series is different, but I also feel like they did a lot more with some of the characters that were in the book
Mm-hmm.
than the movie ever could have done.
Well,
Yeah.
that's the
Wait, but-
benefit
okay.
of having a TV show over a movie, because in a movie you're restricted by a single viewing that needs to be able to stand on its own if necessary, as well as be part of a series if it's able to. But it's also got to be self-contained. It's got to put everything in a limited time limit, so they got to squeeze it in there. While a TV series, you're going to have at least a handful of episodes for a full season, so you can actually plan out time to develop and flesh things out. So
That's true,
I-
yeah.
I got just Molly, when you said Shadowhunters, I was thinking of the right series, but for whatever reason I did not think that was right. But no, the movie irks me so much. It
We can
irks
talk
me.
about the movie on a different day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But but the TV series, because I've seen both, they really stuck decently close to the books, which I feel like that's how it needs to be done if you want a successful movie or TV show. It has to be a little bit closer to the books, especially for those book lovers.
But like Corbett said, a movie's a little harder to do because of the fact that they do have to pare it down.
Yeah.
Which is understandable, but it's weird to think that a lot of movies have moved to TV series because of the fact that people didn't like the original movie because they had to pare it down.
Yeah.
And another thing that's kind of interesting too, or like that I've always thought about, is each like episode for a season would be like a chapter, which is one thing that's really cool, because that's personally how I feel like it should always be done if you're adapting like a book to a TV series, is like each episode is like that chapter.
Yeah.
I feel like that's kind of hard to do just because some
Yeah.
chapters are filler
Yeah.
and long. So you gotta really pick and choose what you're showing too. So I think it's a little easier definitely to do in a TV series, but I think there's still a good amount of difficulty in adapting something correctly to a different form of media.
Yeah.
Because Harry Potter proves that it can be done movies, because that was a mental success.
Yeah. And I think, and even Hunger Games, I think did a decent job with that as well. I think actually did a better job telling the story than the books. Hot take. But kind of on this train of books to TV shows, comic book to TV shows, Umbrella Academy Season 2 has been announced. It's coming out soon, guys.
It is.
I'm super excited.
I need to rewatch the first season in order to prepare myself.
I was about to say, I watched a good amount of the first season, but I never finished it.
Same.
Ooh, you need to finish it.
That's why I
You
need to
really should.
rewatch it.
Yeah, I do know that things happen with 8, but I mean, that's all I know.
There's a lot that happens. But I've read a little bit of the comic, and so I think that they've done a really good job adapting it. And I'm so excited for season 2 and what that's going to bring, because I never finished the comics. So I'm going to be just as surprised as the rest of the world who hasn't read it.
Yeah. That'll be me. I'm the rest of the world, y'all.
Same. Despite the fact that I've known about the comics for years.
I didn't really know it was a comic until pretty recently, I think. Or is when I first started watching it and someone mentioned to me it was a comic.
See, I didn't know that Gerard Way was writing comics, or at least I didn't know that he wrote this one. I knew he wrote Doom Patrol, or that he had some hand in it. But he wrote and did the art for Umbrella Academy.
Yeah.
That's actually why I knew it.
Yeah.
So it was a Geek Commendation on Armageddon a couple semesters ago, and that's how I knew it was Gerard Way, because Court, who Geek Commended, he's like, yeah, I think you'll really like it because it's Gerard Way, and you're still emo, right? Like,
I think we're all still a little emo.
No
one ever truly leaves that emo phase.
I never got into it.
Fall Out Boy post.
You
Corbett's-
never had your
Corbett's
emo
lucky.
phase?
No, I didn't.
I
I got my
didn't.
Boy Scout phase, and that was probably the closest.
That's why.
I'll admit I
Okay.
loosened up a little bit, and I swore a bit more back then, and I was a little different back then, but that was the closest to an emo phase I ever got. So,
So there's emo phase, and you said Boy Scout phase.
yeah, that was my Boy Scout phase. It was from when I was 11 to when I was 18. So
So about the
had
length of an emo phase.
I had a tomboy phase,
Hmm.
and it was like 90s and 80s rock, but not emo, and it wasn't punk. It was just
I had a hippie phase.
A hippie phase?
Oh my god.
no. Okay, you know what phase I did have, guys? Okay, this just popped into my head because it's still with me today. Country girl phase. I had boots, jeans, that like
Horse
you
girl.
Yeah, horse girl.
Yeah, I still am horse girl.
I went through the skater boy phase, and I was actually pretty good at skating for a while. But I was definitely a poser, and you could tell.
I had a
'Cause I would
skateboard
just-
too.
Yeah, I would just wear shirts that people like I saw
just thought-
skaters wear, and they're just like, "Oh, so you like you like this brand. Who's your favorite skater from that? I'm like, I don't know. And
It's just a cool
so
shirt, man.
it's just a cool shirt. I like the monster on it. It's cool.
Always wanted to skateboard, but because I did other sports, I wasn't allowed to. So then when I was finally able to get my own skateboard, I was psyched, and I got too scared that I'd break something and I wouldn't participate in my sports. I was an athlete. That was another phase I had.
Yeah.
Good on
Worst
you.
phase.
Yeah.
Worst
Well,
phase ever.
I'm sure, much like our middle school years, we want to just kind of cut that out. Fans of DC are excited because the Snyder Cut is coming out.
Yeah. So I consider myself a pretty big fan of not Snyder, of DC,
Mm-hmm.
but I had no idea this existed.
Yeah. So it was Justice League, I believe, is what it was.
Yep.
And I know all about this from Cody Nance over at Nerd Central. So shout out to you, Cody.
When do we not get our information from Cody?
When we get it from court.
That's
True.
true. That's true.
That's true. We get it from our 2 C's.
Yeah.
But like I'm friends with Cody on Facebook, so he's posting all this stuff. He's sending me Snapchats of it. And people are just going wild because they've been demanding the Snyder Cut for a long time.
If you don't mind me asking, is Snyder the director? So is this like a director's cut?
He was the first director. So basically, from my understanding,
a new director came in and changed up everything.
Yes. So, and because Justice League didn't do very well, a lot of people were like, well, we want to see what Snyder had. And so they've been demanding this since Justice League came out. And they're finally getting it. So a bunch of people are just kind of going crazy, kind of like when everyone else was going nuts over Avatar coming on Netflix.
From the art or from the design and stuff that I saw that they put out, it looks like that Darkseid is actually the villain in it, which is weird because that's a big villain to put out on a first go for a Justice League live action film. Like Steppenwolf, I got it, but like nobody knows who that is.
No.
Would have been better if you did like Martian Manhunter and then turned him into a hero again.
They should have taken the animated Justice League movie and made it the live action, because I'm not sure if you guys have seen that. I actually own the VHS copy of it, and it's actually pretty solid. So.
Yeah.
But along the lines of a director's cut hot take, could we get J.J. Abrams' Last Jedi, please? Like J.J. Abrams' version of Episode 8, since this is coming out now. Please?
I don't even think he worked on Episode 8.
He had it planned, and then the new director came in, looked at the script, and literally went, no, and threw it in the trash can and wrote a new one. That is literally what happened. J.J. had the entire trilogy planned out, and then what's-his-name came in and laughed and threw it out. So
I thought it was the current CEO of Disney who did that.
Kathleen Kennedy helped too, but no, it was what's his name? Can't think of it.
I know his name.
Yeah, me too.
I cursed it.
Anyway,
when have you not cursed something?
It'll be on the screen.
We'll figure it out. It'll be about right here.
It'll be all across the middle of our face.
Yeah. Because we care more about that.
Yes.
Ryan Johnson.
There it is.
Ryan Johnson. Yeah.
That's the most basic name.
No, that'd be James Bond. Which
I was gonna say Matt Smith.
Matt Smith is quite a basic name.
John Smith.
Actually, no. Y'all want to hear a really basic name? Chris Evans. Now, I love the boy, but I know 5 different Chris Evans. It is ridiculous.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say your name, Kinsey.
Kenzie's is not that.
Duvall isn't that.
Kenzie's pretty.
No, I was just talking about her first name.
Technically, my first name isn't common because the common spelling is M-A-K, where mine is M-C-K. So it's actually the Irishman's last name, so it's very rarely used as a first name.
I know more MCKs.
Serious?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I haven't.
Like
I've only
McKenna
met
and
one
Mackenzie MCKs. Literally all over my high school.
The McKenzie I got in my high school was an MCK. So.
Oh, I only know one other MCK, and she's gonna end up being my roommate. Other than that, that is the only MCK I know.
When you guys are spelling this out, it sounds like you're talking about DJs.
No. Okay. No, the most wild spelling. It is MAKIENZY.
That doesn't even. That's not phonetically correct.
Yep.
What
I wish
blueberry lemon poppy seed name is that?
That's yeah.
Oh my
Blueberry
God.
lemon poppy seed.
I think people stopped caring about phonetically correct names around the time that they decided Molly should be spelled Maleigh.
Or okay, there's so many different spellings for Caitlin too.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Going into different variations of things, we've got a new D&D book coming out.
Yes.
5e.
New D&D book. We meant to talk about this last time, but we were talking about exciting Disney stuff that was happening.
Yes.
So this new D&D book is basically the sequel to the first Magic the Gathering source book that they put out, which was the Guilds of Ravnica, which had a lot of new races, spells, new backgrounds for your characters to have. And it kind of opened up the world of D&D to Magic the Gathering, which is massive. The lore there is incredibly massive.
Sequel, you say?
Huh?
Sequel, you say?
It's kind of like a sequel. It's also Magic the Gathering based. It's called The Mythic Odysseys of Theros. And some of the stuff that you can get, there's set of special traits that change characters, so like new feats. There are 2 new races, the Leonin, which I assume sound like cat people, which we already have those.
Yeah.
I was gonna say lion.
Yeah,
Kind of that thing. Because I mean, like,
interesting. Make them the tiny cat people that we talked about a couple weeks ago.
yeah. And then we'll actually have a playable satyr race,
Yes.
like a canon one. So that's awesome.
Okay, am I hearing things or did someone actually go meow?
Oh, that was me.
Corey's been
Oh my
being a
God.
cat.
Are you surprised, Miss Kitten?
No,
Yeah.
well, no, I thought she did about the same time. So I'm wearing noise canceling headphones. So I didn't know if it was like a cat outside the door, or if it was like someone on here. I was so confused.
Dave.
But anyway, like I'm kind of excited for this because
Yeah.
I do have the guide to Ravnica.
I wasn't a fan of the Guide to Ravnica just because I felt like it was kind of forced, but this one, I feel like they're kind of reeling it back a little bit, and they're not trying to push too much of the MTG world into the game.
Mm-hmm.
But this also includes 2 new subclasses, one for Bard and one for Paladin. A huge new list of magic items. A bestiary with new massive like boss level monsters, because this is based off of like the ancient heroes of the Magic the Gathering world. And then what else did it say? There's like one more thing. Nope, that's it. That's it, actually.
So as you're going through that, I was kind of imagining, so playing it, I don't know if you guys have ever played Magic the Gathering. I've only played it once. But
it's fine. I never got into it too deep, but
yeah, like I said, I only played it the once. But imagine like playing D&D and you have to build your Magic the Gathering deck with it. And so instead of like using a spell slot, you can just draw your card like it's the deck of many things. And you can use that.
Interesting.
Like kind of combining the two.
I have a friend who wanted to build a Magic the Gathering deck based off of her character that we were playing, because Kenzie and I have actually played the Ravnica campaign, or our DM's version of it. So she wanted to build a deck based off of her character, and so it would be interesting to see like how that would compare to what Corey's suggesting.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if you could find like a format that someone's a homebrewed, or maybe even a partially official one that someone has made up for that, because that honestly sounds like something they would incorporate.
Oh no, you can create. So I was reading through the Ravnica book, and I've actually gotten like quite a few ideas of like campaigns I like to kind of try with this. But obviously, like you'd pick a group or a guild, and you kind of like would go from there, and like that would help you with your character traits and everything, which was like really cool because that's kind of what we did when we last played. Also, just throwing it out there now, my birthday is November 15th, y'all. So you need any ideas?
This one comes out. When does it come out? Sorry, July 21st.
So my birthday is November 15th. So if
I'm
you need
poor.
any ideas, I'm just sliding one to you guys. Like, I'm just sliding it.
Yeah.
I slid it over.
Also, can I just say that the traditional cover looks way better than the alt cover.
Yeah, I agree.
It's like they've been slipping with their cover designs, like their alt cover designs, which cost more. Like the alternative cover for Mordenkainen's was bland. The alternative cover for Ravnica was bland. I like the cover for Eberron because that one was like fit the style and the world that the book is based in. But this one, it just looks like a Hydra in space on a space rock.
So which one
Sounds right.
was the alternative one for Ravnica?
Let me double
'Cause
check.
I have the one with like the girl who has lightning around her.
Yeah,
which
that's
I
the
think-
traditional.
Okay, so I have the good one then. I love that one.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Here, I want to look. I kind of want to check out the pictures on this, but I'll wait till
Ravnica.
later.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just double checking it real quick.
Yeah.
Was there not one? I don't think there was one.
Oh.
All right. Moving along in sadder news, the God of War motion capture actor Shad Gaspard passed away.
Yes. So I actually got two small ones, Corey, if you don't mind. I got this.
Yeah,
one.
that's fine.
So he's actually a WWE star, Shad Gusper. He passed away on Sunday. He was reported as missing. They hadn't found anything. And then on Wednesday, his body was found on the beach. He had drowned, and apparently the official story goes is that he had been on the beach with his son when a riptide grabbed his son, and he jumped in after him and tried to save him, and he called for the lifeguard to help and told the lifeguard to save him, his son, not him, and those were his last words before he was pulled under, and he was never heard from again until they found his body. So he was a WWE star, but he also did work for movies such as Get Hard, The Game, and Think Like a Man. He also did motion capture for Bane in Batman: The Enemy Within, and is credited for being the body double and motion capture for Kratos in the God of War 4 game that was recent. So that is sad that he passed away, but it is kind of cool that his last words were of him, "Save my son, not me," and that is quite a hero's death. So I think he should be remembered for that.
Yeah.
In lighter news, something I wanted to bring up earlier because we were talking about book adaptations. I'm not sure if you guys heard, but Suzanne Collins has released a brand new Hunger Games book.
Yes.
Of the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, and this book specifically focuses on the rise of President Snow to power and how he came to rule all of Panem and all that. My mother currently has a copy, and she plans on reading the entire thing before she tells my sister she has it. So
That
go.
actually is kind of creative.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
See, I don't remember marketing for it.
No, they talked about it like once a year ago, and
Yeah.
then
It came
And then
out,
they're like, "Oh, here it is!" Like,
yeah, it came out this week, so it's pretty new.
I didn't even know about it.
mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
Yeah.
I just
I'll have to
hope
give it a try.
I just hope this doesn't lead her down the J.K. Rowling's path where she starts
it won't.
making 10,000 books that are unnecessary. Like, I kind of hope after this she's like, "I'm just gonna bow out."
I heard that it was just going to be the one, but people were wanting to hear more about this specific thing, so that's
Yeah.
why she did it. Plus, it's a world building book, and
Mhm.
while I'm not a fan, I never got into the Hunger Games stories. I'm a sucker for world building and quote unquote lore stories, and this is what this exactly is. So
This
Yeah.
book is actually supposed to take place before I think it's before the Hunger Games starts. Like before the tradition of the Hunger Games
Oh.
began.
Okay.
Because they had, what was that?
So like the rebellion that established it and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's before that because I mean like the continent was still split up into districts, but they had 13.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And as we all know, 13 was wiped out. Wiped out. It's still there. But
Underground.
yeah, It's supposed to basically describe what happened there and why there was a war and whatnot, and how President Snow rose to power. But yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, that sounds really interesting. I'll have to give it a look and try it.
Yep.
Yeah. I should go back and give the Hunger Games another read through. I haven't read that since like middle school.
I remember
they still hold up. They're pretty okay.
I remember reading it, and I only read the first book, and it was after I had seen the movies. And one thing that I understand why they didn't put it in the movies, but I still think would have been terrifying to see in the movie, and it's the way they had the beast dogs at the end of the Hunger Games book, in which each dog was based off of one of the killed contestants. So like pictures of the killed contestants, and that's like. I understand why they didn't do that, because it would have been hard to do and like terrifying for the group they were going for. But man, was that impactful!
I think it's probably more of we don't have the time or budget for it.
It's true, considering
Absolutely.
the dogs that you did have, you didn't see them clearly ever. They were just
And I think that was the intent, because CGI grew with that series.
It did.
It did.
It really did, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, speaking of series, we are going to take a quick break and come back and play our next episode of Dungeons and Dragons with
Welcome
Simon.
back, Pirates on Air.
I don't have my flower crown, guys.
Oh no!
That's okay.
Quickly, another one.
All right.